afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about why am I toxic? Let's talk about toxicity. Let's talk about toxic behavior. Phil thinks that people like myself and other detractors are just that, just toxic individuals that hate him for no reason. But what about Phil's behavior? What about him treating people like human garbage? The people who give him money, who donate to him, who have helped him out in some way, shape, or form, only to turn around and shit on them later. Like, for example, those fellas who built the that PC for him. And then it turned out to be a lemon, but it really wasn't a lemon. He just needed to, I think somebody said that he needed to just probably check the connections for the power supply. Some people say he just needed to just reconnect the RAM. He'd have been fine. But Phil didn't know how to do any of that, so Phil didn't do it. So he shitted on these people who helped him with his PC. If I remember correctly, those were the same people who helped him with the website. And then think about all the people that helped donate to him at one time or another. Let's bring up Brightside Viking and how he threw him to the wolves for frontlining for him against Kiwi Farms. Think about all the people who have helped Phil out in his life and how he shitted on them later. Is that not being toxic? Is that not being a scumbag of an individual? A human being, if you will? But Phil always concentrates on what people do to him. But he never, ever talks about what he does to other people or what he has done to other people. And more importantly, ladies and gentlemen, what he will do to people in the future. Phil values no one but himself. And so, with that being said, everybody else is merely just cannon fire. And people, he doesn't look at people as individuals. You're just pieces of shit that he keeps around as long as he needs you until he doesn't need you anymore. Phil has shown on plenty of occasions where a simple person in his comment section who probably just gave him money to answer the question that they're posing or to read out the statement that they're making. Hey Phil, I have this recommendation. Well, asshole, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're talking about. I've been doing this so much longer. You need to shut up and know your place. Was that not toxic for someone just giving you a little bit of feedback to help you moving forward? Call it what you call it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Mr. Stuffs, Dspgaming, Toxicity, 2013. This right here is another segment of a much larger interview that Phil had done back in the year 2013. And we're going to go through it. We'll see what we make out of it. And we'll see how 2013 Phil has evolved, or even devolved, or just stayed stagnant to who he is now in 2018. Should be an interesting listen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News, always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG network and productions. You guys all know the slogan. It's time to watch me work.
My question is, why do you feel the need to ridicule your fans when they make statements or say things to you that contrast your own opinions or you just disagree with? It's a regular occurrence that instead of making a reasoned rebuttal, you just attack them personally. The whole Minecraft Twitter debacle is a prime example of this. You only made a more reasoned and, frankly, amended statement once it had been made a big deal out of by fans. I really feel like this hostility is a primary cause of viewers' drops. Would it not be a better idea to take the high road more often? Start enforcing a policy of, if you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say anything at all. Like any other business, you have to deal with disagreeing, disappointed, and sometimes unreasonable customers. At your last job, if someone called up and said, I don't think your helicopters are very good, I don't like it, you didn't turn around and say, well, you're a fucking idiot. Kind regards, Hazard.
Let me jump in. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, Mr. Stuffs, Mr. Stuffs, Dspgaming, Toxicity. And that must be the editor. So let me go ahead and get on that right there. Jesus, the video will be out when it will be out. God dog. Anyway, Mr. Stuffs, Dspgaming, Toxicity, 2013. This video was published by Mr. Stuffs on June 12th. I'm currently recording it on the 13th.
All right. So basically, I guess the gist of the question is why it seems like a lot of the times I respond to negativity harshly rather than either just taking the high road and not saying anything or possibly taking the time and responding maybe in a more complex manner. It's funny because right before we started the stream, I was talking to these guys about how, unfortunately, Twitter is not the place to try to have any kind of an intelligent conversation with anybody, because there's far too few characters. You try to say something, but you end up saying it in a way that it's abridged and ends up cutting out a lot of the emphasis or the detail of what you're trying to say. So in particular, he mentioned Minecraft.
Now let me jump in real quick. That's funny because that right there was almost the same statement he made recently when he went on Twitter and called all those people shills for State of Decay 2. Just something to bring up. Let's continue.
I'm not hating on Minecraft the game, all right? The fact that Minecraft has become such a popular entity in the gaming world, the fact that you can go to Walmart and they've got Minecraft shirts and Minecraft accessories for kids and stuff, it's a testament that the game obviously has an attraction to a wide fan base. I completely understand that. That was not the point that I was making in the tweet. Unfortunately, because it was a tweet, you don't have enough space to really elaborate. So, and in this regard, I'm going to say to Hazard, absolutely, you are 100% correct. A lot of the time what ends up happening is I'll want to say something, but instead of, okay, well, I'm going to make a video to fully elaborate my opinion, I end up jumping on Twitter and I say something, and then half the people who read it think that I'm trying to say something that I'm really not. In that particular case of Minecraft, the whole point I'm trying to make is that I think the game is not a game for the kind of people like I am. I'm a kind of person, I like a game that has a complex story, great graphics, some gameplay in there too. I like a game that's multifaceted. Minecraft is the kind of game that it's a time waster. There's no real complex story or anything going on in it. When you beat Minecraft, the initial campaign or whatever there is in the game, you're not, wow, I feel accomplished because I beat that game and what an awesome story and I love those characters and I'm gonna want to go back to that over and over. No, that's not the kind of game it is. It's a game where you literally sit at your computer and you dig and you build stuff and you play with mods and you mess around. It's a dick around game. So I can understand why people like that, but at the same time, when people come on my videos of a masterpiece, a game from my childhood that I think is like an amazing game, and they go, Earthbound is boring, this game sucks, it is boring, I'm going to go play Minecraft, I want to shoot myself in the fucking head.
Well, first off, is your ego that fragile? That people don't like the same shit that you like? 2, it's an opinion. 3, why didn't you just ignore it? There are plenty of things from people's childhoods that they like or that they appreciate and other people don't. It's just something that happens. But you want to shoot yourself in the head every time someone says, oh, well, that's boring? Did you even tell them what the significance to you that this, that video game even has? And even if you did, who cares? It only means something to you and not them. If they're like, hey, this game is boring, I'm going to go and play Minecraft, for you to get butthurt over that speaks more to you than the actual game. Which I'm assuming that's what these guys in this interview were trying to pull out. But it certainly doesn't look like 2013 Phil has changed very much. He didn't get better. He didn't evolve, apparently. And that was only 3 minutes into this video.
Because that's like the common mentality of what's happening with gamers these days. We just want to play this mindless game that, it's just sit down, click, 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 click. Same thing with Call of Duty. Look how dumbed down Call of Duty has become, and all of a sudden it's the biggest selling game in the world right now. It's just anyone can jump in, anyone can shoot a few people, and then turn it off. And yes, that kind of game has a place, but don't come onto my content and insult.
So why would you shit on Call of Duty like that anyway? If anything, I mean, if you want to make the comparison between like Call of Duty and like Battlefield, for example, those are probably the 2 best ones. Battlefield's obviously way more team-based, way more strategy. Okay? Call of Duty, you could apply that same argument to it if you're, if you're in a party or whatnot. If you want to do well, you can do well solo. If you really want to dominate, then obviously you want to be in a party, or you want to at least be able to communicate with your teammates. But the game it's an arcade shooter. It's supposed to be point and shoot. It's supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be fun. Minecraft is the same thing. I don't know if I call it a dick around game, but if it's a game that you want to throw an hour into to build something, you know what I'm saying, to kind of just lose yourself into a game, then by all means. It's no different really than any other game. Just because it takes a little less, maybe because you have to put a little less into it, doesn't mean the game isn't as good. But then again, that comes back down to a personal opinion. It sounds to me like Phil is butthurt that he didn't jump on that trend, similar to Fortnite now, and didn't get those early views. He found all the reasons why he shouldn't, and then got mad when people asked him to do so. Like how people asked him to play Minecraft, and he didn't do it until he made them pay him to do it. Kind of like what he was trying to do with Fortnite, except for he hasn't been able to convince people to pay him to play it yet.
Masterpiece from my past, just because you are the kind of gamer that doesn't have that kind of perspective. All right, I've been around the block. I've been around for quite some time, so that's why I feel that I can see those things. And I don't look at older games. Sure, I don't like how every game on the Commodore 64 looks. I think it looks like shit. But I'm not going to sit here and shit on those games because I know there was a fan base for that back then.
But didn't you not just say it looks like shit? And yeah, it looked bad for the graphics given its time period, but people still love that. And you just took a shit on it, Phil. Which goes right back to why you can't make a civil argument. You could have just said, well, I don't like the way it looks. But no, you had to say, oh, I take a shit on it. Because you can't articulate yourself any better.
So that was the point of my tweet, but it basically came out me saying, Minecraft sucks ass, fuck anyone who wants to play it. And that's how people read that tweet, all right?
Because that's how you wrote it. And that maybe if you laid off the gin, you wouldn't have so many problems. But then again, you never learned that lesson either. Make sure you have those pills next to you, Phil, so you can fight off that hangover instead of taking it like a man. If you were man enough to drink it, then you're man enough to suffer what comes next. Let's be honest. You're not changing the world by what you're doing to where you need to be taking a hangover medication that might be slowly killing you in the process. Just saying.
Right. That's one of the things that people was taking that comment, like basically how, because you said somebody came on your stream was basically just knocked, what game was he playing again? It was
Earthbound.
Earthbound, yes. So basically, like when they said that, like this game is boring, it sucks, I'm gonna go play Minecraft. He was like, what the fuck? And that's exactly how people felt when the comments was made about Minecraft. Like, even though I think what people are generally looking for is not you to speak about how you feel about the game, but understand that I guess it's what you said there. It kind of goes really into the limitations of Twitter, specifically Twitter, because of the character limits and shit. But just to be more mindful about how, I guess, like other gamers take it too, because that's one thing I'll admit. Gamers these days are basically really short attention spans. That's why, again, like games like Call of Duty, these games that you just pick up really quick, play it for a minute, and just move on, do something else. That's why they're so successful, because short attention spans. That's the popular thing nowadays.
All right, real quick before we get to Nate's question, just in regards to this, it was also about addressing negativity. He was basically just saying, you know, if you see people talking shit, basically ignore them, I guess is what he was also trying to suggest as well. But in regards to Minecraft, I guess,
yeah, Phil did a pretty good job sidestepping that.
Right now, I would disagree with you, but I'm not going to insult you or people who feel the same way about Minecraft, because although there's not much story to Minecraft, it does breed a lot of creativity and what people can come up with. Yeah. I think it's a little bit more than a time waster, and I too am from an era, like the Super Nintendo was like the biggest thing for me. I've been playing actually since the Atari days, so I can kind of see what you're talking about. But I guess I feel like it probably could have been worded differently, and you yourself said it probably could have, but you only have like 140 characters to try and talk about the subject.
Right, and I do want to say I apologize to anyone who was insulted thinking that I was saying that Minecraft is a horrendous game and you're an idiot if you play it. That's not the point I was making. Really what irked me was, like, you know, you take a look at videos on YouTube and, oh, anyone who puts out a Minecraft video gets thousands of views just because they're playing Minecraft, and it's like...
Gotcha. That goes right back to what I just said about he doesn't understand. He's mad that other people are playing the game, and there are channels out there that built themselves completely around Minecraft. That's it, and are now a million view channel or now a million sub channels. I know channels that used to just play Call of Duty, and then they started playing Minecraft. Then they dedicated a whole nother channel to Minecraft and built both channels up off Minecraft. I mean, this guy in particular still played Call of Duty, but his Minecraft channel eclipse that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Phil's looking at, and he doesn't understand it, because to him, the game is garbage. Let's be honest, Phil. That's what you really want to say. You're not man enough to say it here, but the game is garbage and whatnot. And you don't understand why people are getting all these views. And then it's funny how a little while later, you end up going on to play it after you convince people to pay you to do it, and you didn't get nearly as many views. And more importantly, you got, you know, basically run up off the game. A lot of that comes from what you said. There are consequences. It is the internet. It doesn't forget.
Really? Like, the game has become that... It's like, if you're not playing Call of Duty and you're not playing Minecraft, you're not in the in crowd on YouTube anymore. And that's way different than when I started on YouTube. It's absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion, that these two games are kind of dominating the entire gaming scene. So for someone to make a comment like that on my content kind of set me off. Yes, I did say I approached it the wrong way. I should have just let it go. And as for the negativity comment that Hazard made, I will publicly admit absolutely 100% this year in particular, yes, I have been letting the negativity get to me, which I should not have done. If you remember when I started out on YouTube doing this full time, I said we're going to remain positive, we're going to keep pushing ahead, we're going to ignore all the bullshit, and we're going to keep going. And unfortunately, this year it did kind of get to me for multiple reasons. You know, worries about myself, my future, being able to do this on the internet as something full time. This year really affected me because I really wanted to move this year. And then basically getting a pay cut at the beginning of this year was a huge, devastating blow to me. I'm stuck in Connecticut basically because of it. And, you know, I've been a little bit, I'll be honest, I've been a little bit more sensitive this year about this kind of stuff. So I do have to make an honest effort.
So it sounds to me like you were jealous of other people's success. Next thing, you know, the years previous, when you were making that good money, you didn't save any of it. So how bad did you really want to move? Did you really want to just rub your success in the face of your friends and maybe other people who used to shit on you back in your high school days? You know what I mean? Or did you really buckle down and really put that money away so, you know what, I can finally make this move with my with my girlfriend, Panda? What was really important to you at that time? It wasn't moving. You were too busy trying to show people that you were successful. And then you get on Twitter all ginned up and then all butthurt because other people are way more successful than you doing what you feel is nothing, when it's not like you couldn't pick up the game yourself. But see, the thing is, and Phil realizes it, it's not just the game. It's the personality behind it. When you look at Phil's streams right now, 2018, it's him sitting on his ass, making stupid jokes, belching, burping, snorting, and looking for cheers. It's no different than if he was just making a YouTube video, except for now his face is on stream, and you can see how frequently he's looking for cheers and looking to ban people. Other than that, it's a YouTube video. But he says that he has these highly interactive streams and it's all about the fun here and it's so entertaining. He never figured it out. He still hasn't. He's just as boring now as he was then.
Effort to try to address these things properly, to understand what I'm saying is being viewed in the public eye, and that people may take it the wrong way, or I might not be able to say it the right way because I'm saying it on Twitter like an idiot. And I will try to make an honest effort to be more positive.
So does that mean you and I are going to do some co-op of Minecraft and go ahead and do a video of that?
Actually, yes, that's the big announcement on the stream tonight. Minecraft. The big project now.
All right. Nate, go ahead with the next one.
All right. Next question is, hey, Phil, my question is this. Stating that you are no longer banning people, why was I banned from the King of Hate vlogs for giving you a fair and reasonable criticism about your dual Hateful Truth feature, God of War, and Gears of War Judgment? You stated that you were no longer going to be policing the comments and would consider banning someone under the circumstances of racism and sexism. That question was really generalized, so I actually asked them, what was it that you said?
Right.
They didn't have it verbatim, but what he said was it was along the lines of this. I think it's pretty lame of you to group together these two games together for the Hateful Truth. To me, it sort of seems like it was rushed, as you did not take the time to make a separate review to cash in to get the video out while the games are relevant. I think two separate reviews would have been more appropriate.
Okay, so let me cut in real fast. Yeah, Phil never gave that up until he just decided to get rid of the comment section altogether. Twitter, he's sitting there blocking people off Twitter who, like for me, for example, I never even tweeted him before. I don't think I've ever even tweeted at him. Actually, I know I haven't. And, you know what I'm saying? We're blocked off Twitter. There's a bunch of people that are on our friends list or that we follow that are blocked off Twitter too. He blocked us off for he blocked people for the most random, stupid shit. And when, I mean, not that I was even following him, I wasn't. And if I ever need to see a screenshot of what he said, I can go to Dragon Killer, which is what I do anyway. So, for you to block someone who's never even tweeted at you is kind of pathetic in a lot of ways, actually. But whatever. It's just what he is. And, like I said, he doesn't have to worry about police in the comment section anymore. He doesn't even have one to police now, except for King of Hate. And people's comments get deleted off that all the time. And then if you look at it on stream, well, you guys seen how he's with the banhammer. Not a lot has changed in the last 5 years, Phil. I gotta say, you still seem like the sensitive little bitch. Not much is really, you haven't grown much. I'm sure Panda and Cat can contribute to that. But you haven't done much there, kiddo. You haven't done much.
All right, that's it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, what I want to say is, I get this all the time. Phil, why did you block me from your channel when all I said was an honest and fair criticism? And I'm like, now, why would you even bother saying that? Because you can't prove it. You know what I mean? Like, if the comment was deleted and the guy was blocked, you have no idea what they really said. And what I'm finding more often than not is that people are...
Oh, you mean like that war dog leader situation? Oh, I don't really know if your brother died or not. You could be just saying that to derail the stream or to trying to get more sympathy or might try to make me look bad. So, and since we don't have any proof that your brother's dead, I don't have a death certificate or anything like that. I'm just gonna... I don't have to take this. You could be a troll. That's funny that Phil was saying that same silly shit back in 2013. And we all saw how that war dog leader situation worked out for him. You know, what was that, 2017? I mean, come on, Phil. You expect everybody to take what you say at face value? It might not hurt for you to do the same. I mean, we already see what the consequences are if you don't. So, it is what it is. And it is convenient that if the comment was deleted and they're blocked, yeah, I guess your word does kind of reign supreme, huh? Being king might be good in that particular situation, isn't it?
Complaining that they're getting...
And then he gets mad that in current day, people screenshot everything he says. Or they screenshot all the stuff from his chat. Because then he can't lie about it later. Just saying. The more you know.
Blocked or banned. And then I come to find out this was the guy who was spamming my video with nasty shit 2 weeks ago. You know, and I blocked him. And then all of a sudden he realized he was blocked. So now he's acting, oh, I'm innocent. I was the nice guy. So I'm not saying that's the case in particular here. But when you do hear people saying that, I do want to say you got to take it with a grain of salt, because a lot of people, they try to twist it to make them look like, oh, I was the innocent guy, you know what I mean? The bottom line is, since the beginning of 2013, this is correct. I have not been policing the comments of my videos. If you remember, early this year, I basically granted amnesty to everybody across the board. Over the entirety of my YouTube career, I unblocked everyone. And it took a while, because there was, like, you know, hundreds of people who've, you know, done stupid shit on my videos over the past several years. And I granted just general amnesty to everybody. I have not been actively reading the comments. The only videos that I really do actively read the comments on these days are my vlog style videos, especially the ones where I'm trying to get feedback or I'm trying to get an idea from someone, like Hate Live. A lot of the times I say that, you know, leave a comment or whatever, and because I'm talking about this or that. Now, in this particular case, more than likely what happened was that I put out the review, and it was one of two things that happened. Either, number one, someone actually messaged me and said, Phil, there's someone trolling or getting into a nasty argument or something on one of your videos. Go check it out because it's upsetting the people in the comments. I've actually been getting dozens and dozens of these every month. People saying, there's someone so nasty, and we know you don't police your comments anymore, but we'd like you to go take a look, please, because we're having a nice discussion about your video, and this guy's just being an idiot. So that could have been one case. Maybe someone said there was something on that video that I needed to take a look at and maybe moderate. The only other reason, again, is if I'm reading a vlog that I just put out and maybe I'm interested to see what's the feedback. So in that case, maybe I was looking for, you know, feedback on what people thought about my reviews of the games. Now, in this guy's particular case, I mean, it's months later. I cannot tell you what.
So he was giving you feedback on those games, and he said, "Hey, it looks like you're kind of rushing this out. What the deal is?" And you decided to kick him for that. What does that tell you? You said you wanted feedback, positive or negative, and that's typically what you're going to get with feedback. It's going to be either positive or negative. So, yet again, why couldn't you just take that at face value? It's obvious that that's probably what ended up happening. You got backed up or you got lazy, and you went ahead and put both reviews out at once so you could basically cash in while the games were still relevant. You've done it before. You still do that now, if you even bother doing a review. So, yeah. And if the people in your comment section aren't civil enough to ignore negative comments and just continue a conversation amongst themselves, whoa. They got a whole lot of growing up to do, don't they? You basically admitted to police in your comment section. Whether because people asked you to or not, that's what you did. This is petty. This is so petty. I didn't even know it was this bad back then, but Jesus Christ.
Whatsoever, what it was that caused me, if that was his real comment or not, to delete his comment and block him. You know what I mean? I can't, it's months later. I wish I had it in front of me and I could honestly tell you why it would irk me. His comment alone, I could tell you just hearing that summary of it does sound negative. Basically sounds to me like he's calling me out and he's trying to tell me that I'm just in it for the money.
You are.
And so I just made this review just to cash in quick.
You did.
I didn't really care about the games or the review, and I could have, you know what I mean? And
you didn't.
That's an attack. Now, I'm not saying that's what he said, but it seems to me that if he wrote something like that, saying, you're a sellout, you're in it for the money, that's going to get you blocked, versus other people who would say, okay, this might have been a better video if you had made two. And if they say it in the fashion that's intelligent and respectful, and I think you hit on it at the very beginning of the stream when you were actually talking about the people in the stream chat. I can accept criticism if you say it to me like a human being, and you don't say it to me like I'm some idiot 5-year-old kid and you're my parent scolding me, all right?
Okay, so since you still got mommy and daddy issues, how about on Twitter when you were talking about Minecraft and the people who play it? Maybe if you had articulated yourself better, you wouldn't have gotten all the hate that you got. Or let's jump ahead 5 years, and maybe if you had articulated yourself like a human being, you know what I'm saying? And instead of some mental midget monkey and whatnot, smashing the keyboard with gin still on your lips, maybe you could have gotten a better response. You want people to be civil with you, you know what I mean? To be civil, to be cultured, but you can't do it yourself. Progress. You done well for yourself in the last 5 years, Phil. You done well for yourself.
Because the bottom line is, this is my content. It's free. I'm providing it for you. If you don't like it, that's okay. You don't have to watch it. And I know I've said that thousands of times, and I'm saying it again. If you don't like something in a video, you have every right to post a comment about it, but do it in a respectful and intelligent manner. Not with fuck Phil, fuck this, sellout, asshole, any of that stuff. It immediately shuts me down when I see something like that. And I'm not going to...
Are you that fragile, though, of an individual? To where you can't take a little bit of criticism? You can't just read the comment and just move on? No, you got to respond to it. And usually what Phil did, especially back then, is, if I remember correctly, is he used to respond to it, and then he'd delete your comment. Phil was good for that. He was real good for that.
I'm going to accept this criticism, because obviously this guy isn't even intelligent enough to say it in an intelligent manner. So I can't give a definitive answer on this particular question, because I'm not in my shoes, 3-4 months ago when I wrote the review. I don't know exactly what the comment was, but a lot of the times people actually message me about this stuff and they say, Phil, I was banned. I'm not sure what happened. And I unbanned them. I've unbanned probably, a whole bunch of people this year in particular. A lot of the times they say, Phil, you banned me. What happened? And I say, I don't remember even reading the comments for the past 2 days. How could I have banned you on a video that I put out yesterday? And then I go to their channel, but sure enough, it says they're blocked. And so I end up unblocking them. So that might be a factor too, where something's happening, where somehow people are getting blocked and it's not even me. And I don't know how that happens, but I've noticed that a few times this year too. So I wish I had a better answer for you, but I can't give you one because I'm not in my shoes at the moment when that happened. So I'm not exactly sure what the comment was.
Well, that was insightful. Well, so there you guys go on that. A whole lot of excuses, whole lot of complaining, whole lot of expectations that he expects to be done for him, but yet he can't extend that to others. Phil hasn't changed too much in 5 years, ladies and gentlemen. Well, what are you going to do? Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG Network and Productions. I am your host / anchor, GTG, and I'm signing off. End the broadcast.